It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, February the 3rd. Little bit of snow. I was looking for more. I trusted the weather service and, of course, was disappointed. I wanted February to kick me in the ass. I guess there's still time.
Yeah.
I should probably not get ahead of myself. Sorry, Minnesota. I still get so excited. I still wake up and I'm like, it's snowing.
Oh, I was stoked. I was really excited. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And then I hopped in the car and got here. And by the time I got here, I was like, this damn snow getting in the way of my thing. All right, it's Monday morning. Let's get right to your top 5 at 6. Bing, bang, boom. Hero, a word we probably use too often. I mean, especially every year when we're going over the International Jump Roping Championship results and we talk about that was a heroic performance by that guy with the double Dutch bust jump ropes. But a rope jumper in Indianapolis has earned the term hero over the weekend. My man put his ropes to good use. We've got a little bit of him telling the story. Check this out.
I am a professional rope jumper.
Damn straight.
The dog went onto the ice pond to chase the geese, and the dog is in the water. The boy went in to try and save his dog, and he's treading water in the middle of the ice pond, screaming. I just instinctively went right for my bag of jump ropes and pulled out the double Dutch ropes. I headed out on the ice pond, and as I start to go out there, I can hear the ice cracking underneath my feet. I sling the rope to him, and he grabs one handle, and bit by bit, we pulled him out of the ice pond.
Hell yeah, David Fisher. Well done, sir.
I didn't hear a word he said after professional jump roper.
My favorite is I just instinctively went right for my bag of jump ropes. Interestingly enough, now we should note in the last 12 months alone, Fisher, he used those ropes to pull a car out of a ditch. He used those ropes to subdue a bank robber mid-heist. He used those ropes to get a box leaf blower off the top shelf at Home Depot. He used those ropes to knock a pesky drone out of the sky over his kid's Little League game. Now, however, when asked by his wife to add a little spice to their sex life with the ropes, he blanched and said, hey, that's disrespectful. So jump ropers, they do maintain the letter of the law. You know what I'm saying?
I think one punchline too far is suggesting he's married.
That's probably true. That's probably
a professional jump rope. I mean, that's a good marriage when you're like, honey, I'm going to work on my jump roping. I mean, my God, you thought deer hunting was a lousy excuse to get away. Yeah, that's a bad one.
Full credit, however, for literally saving a kid from a frozen pond. I mean, I don't mean to overjump the fact that he did save a kid's life and got. I don't know if the dog got out, but the kid got out, and that is pretty important. By the way. Never fallen through the ice myself and never been around someone who had. But I'm fascinated by if anybody has I pulled someone out of the ice story.
Yeah.
Hell, man, light us up on the KQ Talks line, 651-989-ROCK. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Size does matter. Never let anybody tell you it doesn't. And with the Super Bowl coming up, we're talking about the size of televisions. Have you ever bought a new TV just to watch the Super Bowl? Because people do it all the time. People do that, and back in the old, I don't know if this still happens as much, but like March Madness used to be a big, I knew people that would go get the TV and then turn it back in. They would return it after and say, sorry, we didn't need it so much. Yeah. But Super Bowl people still is a time when people say, I need a bigger TV. And I'm just looking at a lot of people were asked what they need. 20% say they want to go like 75 inches or more. A lot of people say 100 inches. I don't have a wall. I don't have a place for a 100-inch television in my house. And if my son were the starting quarterback for either the Chiefs or the Eagles, I still wouldn't find a place for a 100-inch television. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I would. I mean, it turns out bigger is better when it comes to TVs because I remember the first time I used to do advertise for TVs many, many years ago. He said, what size do you like? I said, 42. He goes, no, we have 50-inch televisions. I'm like, no, 42 is fine. It's a small little basement room. He goes, dude, yeah. So he gave me the 50-inch. Bigger is always better when it comes to a television. Get rid of the rest of your furniture and your crap and the pictures of the kids and mom and dad. Who needs them? Knock the urn off the mantle and put a big-ass television up there. That's what life is really all about.
Well, that's true. I do have to catch up on that last season of Suits. So now that you put it in, now that you're saying it like that, maybe that's the case. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Call me naive, okay? But this one shocked me. A survey says that 85% of women say while working that they watch porn. 85%.
Like food porn? or what's happening?
No. Porn. Good old-fashioned out in the
You
cornfield
mean like
porn.
cucumbers and zucchinis? You filthy animal, you. That's cool. I love food porn.
By the way, about 60% of men admitted to it. Again, 85% of women. And part of that is because if you are at the average workspace and you look over at a woman's desk and you think she's watching porn, you go, that must not be real. You never think a dude's watching porn. You're like, dude, you're watching porn. I think women know they can get away with it. That's what I'm
I think
getting at.
women are the new men.
It's about time. Seriously, take the keys and hand them to the women or the wheel or whatever it's called.
Thank you, ladies.
18% of women polled said they have been caught watching porn at work. 10% say at least once a day. And the most common place for women to watch porn is in the bathroom on a handheld device. That way they can also take care of business, if you see what I'm saying. So I'm just... Again, I'm surprised to hear this. And as a man, I have no comment. Ryder?
Yeah.
I try not to talk about women's stories too much. I don't want to mansplain anything.
I mean, I have watched porn at work, but it was like
Ta-da.
for work.
A different job?
For work, yeah, right. So like you mean were you a director, a producer of pornography, or editor?
It was some research. I needed to pull some audio for a radio show. So
all right, maybe we could listen to some of that
Guilty.
audio. Sounds like fun.
Number 2 in your top 5 at 6, Vikings fans in a poll said they would rather win a Super Bowl. This is 2,000 single NFL fans were asked, would you rather win a Super Bowl over finding true love? And Vikings fans said, oh, hell yes. I'll finding true love, whatever. Give me the ring. Give me the Lombardi trophy. The two fan bases that had the highest number of I want a championship over true love, not surprisingly, Minnesota and Buffalo. Oof. Man,
Well, I mean,
tortured.
Being a Vikings fan currently is kind of like being in a relationship. So, yeah, why not elevate it? And I don't know.
Losers!
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, I tell you. Hey, want to give a morning shout out to Arden Hills. A lot of good people up there checking us out in the mornings, and we do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a sigh? Was that an Arden Hills sigh?
I'm thinking of Lindy. I was just at Lindy's Prime Steakhouse not too long ago, and you know what I like? It's a supper club. I don't know why, but you'd be driving around through these towns, and it's not a freaking restaurant. It's a supper club. Anyway, Lindy's.
Nice.
One damn fine supper club. I think it's in Arden Hills.
Rock on Arden Hills either way. If it's not, claim it. You know what I mean? Hell, it looks like we're about to take Canada. Take Lindy's Arden Hills.
Yeah.
Hey, number 1 on your top 5 at 6 is speaking about watching porn at work. I just did because I saw a picture of Kanye's wife at the Grammys last night.
Kim's looking good.
She showed up. It's Bianca, but thanks for playing. Remember, this is the woman he got who looks a whole lot like Kim. Kanye West at the Grammys. I would not mention that other than to mention the fact that his wife showed up completely nude,
very naked.
with
Yeah.
the exception of some tiny, I guess she had some saran wrap sort of on, but they just walked the red carpet and she just was showing it all. So good to see Kanye's progressing through life. Interesting story from the Grammys for our show and for our lives. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones won Grammys last night. The Stones' best rock album for only their 4th ever Grammy. That's just hilarious to think about. And then the Beatles Now and Then won Best Rock Performance. That's the Beatles' 8th Grammy. As a lifelong, literal, obsessed Beatles and Rolling Stones fan, come on, what are we doing? I mean, seriously, come on. I liked Hackney Diamonds. I liked hearing the Beatles' last song. And then, of course, I look at the rest of the nominees and I'm like, yeah, give it to the Beatles and the Stones. It's
Wait
fine.
a second. Wasn't the Grammys on CBS?
I believe it was.
Ed Sullivan on CBS. I mean, come on, The Fix. It's obvious.
From the grave, Sullivan still has all the pull. That's great to know. There's your top 5 and 6. Zepp and I have spent way too much time on this show over the couple of years talking about how much we love to floss our teeth. We do. We're flossers.
I'm a flosser. Yeah,
I too, and I've used more than just dental floss. Back pre-pandemic when I used to bite my nails, occasionally I'd bite a fingernail, and at the same time I was doing that, I'd go like, "Oh, I do have something in my teeth," and I would cram it, and I knew that was
That's
disgusting.
hardcore, man.
But hey, man, sometimes you got to do these sort of things. A piece of paper, I'd tear tear a piece of paper and fold it in half and get it. I'd try anything. And then one day I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to always use floss, and I've been much happier since. Speaking of that, though, people floss with weird things. Usually, though, they do this to themselves. Not Carlos Martins, a priest from Detroit. My man hosts a podcast called The Exorcist Files.
That he then picked up her hair, placed it in his mouth, and made a flossing motion. And that was the allegation that was made by not only the young lady herself, but the individuals that were around her at that time. I can't imagine how scary this might have been for this young lady and the other people around her.
The story went on. He talked to a 13-year-old girl. Do you ever use your hair for floss? Grabs some of her long hair, starts to floss his own teeth with it, and then sits behind her in a church pew and, according to other kids, made growling noises at her.
What?
The power of Christ compels you!
Yeah, buddy.
The power of Christ compels you!
And what's most upsetting about this to me is what about his health? Because hair can harbor bacteria. And that could spread to his gums. And oh my God, next thing you know, my man's going to need some dental work.
Oh, no.
Right, or he dies and goes to heaven.
He's,
as God intended. Oh, he's gone down the rabbit hole too many times, right? Clearly, this guy is either, he's just gone over the top of the whole exorcist thing, or if you're a Catholic, if you're a God-fearing person, then you believe that he's possessed, right?
I think he would have to be. I think that's what the growling was all about. He realized he'd crossed the line. He's like, maybe some dog growls would get me out of this. The state of Illinois doesn't care. They were looking at a year behind bars for this freak. We'll keep you posted, of course. Hey, speaking of freaks, the new documentary, Becoming Zeppelin, the Led Zeppelin documentary, February 10th through the 12th at the Roseville AMC Theater. You can see it for free. Sign up to win passes at 92KQRS.com.
Sports history with the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Time to look back. It is February the 3rd. On this day in 2002, Adam Vinatieri's 48-yard field goal, as time expired, put the Patriots over the Rams in a staggering upset in the Super Bowl. A really exciting moment as the Patriots finally got over Tom Brady coming out of nowhere to lead the team. It's funny to think back to this game and remember that it actually kind of seemed cool that the Patriots got a big ring. You know what I mean? They had been okay over the years, but for the most part, they were a joke. And then their starting quarterback, the mega contract, Drew Bledsoe on the bench, a 6th-round draft pick leads them to victory. It was a feel-good story. And then, in very short fashion, they became the most hated team in NFL history. It's like, like they say in, Batman, you stay alive long enough to become the villain. Thanks for that, Tom Brady.
The American dream.
That certainly is.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, February the 3rd. Def Leppard photograph back from when they were a 10-arm band back in the early 80s. What?
It's true. Yeah,
Listen,
I gotcha.
That's the greatest 9-arm band in rock history.
That
Make no
true.
mistake about it. I defy anybody to come up with a better example of a 9-arm band. But they were damn good with 10 arms. I'm just saying. There's a line in the sand to me. It's pre and post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's my favorite story in rock history. With the nicest guys in the world. Nicest band ever. Oh, you lost your arm? All right, we'll wait. We'll take a few years off.
Absolutely.
I don't know a single other band that would have done that. I don't know another band that wouldn't have been booking rehearsals for new drummers on their way to the hospital. That's how that usually goes.
Yeah.
Your refrigerator is trying to kill you, and I'll tell you how. Because you open it up, and you look at the shelf on the side with all the condiments, and you have them right there, and after a little while, you just stop thinking about how long they've been in there, and then one day, you go to make a sandwich, and you're like, I'm going to need some of that mayonnaise, and you stick it on your turkey sandwich, and you die. Because the condiments don't last forever, despite the fact that we think they do.
Escalated quickly.
It does, man. Listen, with that mayonnaise, 2 months after you open it. You have 2 months, according to the USDA.
Really?
Get 2 months, yes. Salad dressings, if they are creamier, 2 months. Yes, that's right. Clean them out. Open your fridge. Tell me the oldest condiment you have. I guarantee you will be shocked. Right as we were getting ready to come to Minnesota a couple years ago. As you're contemplating moving and leaving and changing residences, Rosemary and I, in the kitchen at the old house, pull open the fridge, and we're like, well, let's just get rid of. I mean, a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't selling the house just yet, but we knew we were going to be kind of vacating, and we remembered at that moment. Oh, remember that thing like years ago when we got into an Asian food kick and we were trying to make Asian food at the house? Our daughter Marley, when she was in high school, had a cooking class type of vibe, and she was suddenly we all hopped in. And I was pulling out things like hoisin sauce and fish sauce and oyster sauce. And every one of those things, the sell-by date was 6 or 7 years prior.
Ooh.
They'd just been sitting on that shelf 6 years after they were not supposed to be used.
Did you open them up and
Yes.
give them a whiff?
Oh yeah. Had to do it every time. Have to smell everything. I'm a big smell guy. A lot of people say that they won't throw anything out unless it smells bad. And I used to prescribe to that theory, and now I'm just like, you know what? I'm all for just decluttering my life across the board, much less my condiments. That's why I've always been a mustard guy. Mustard hangs around with you. Mustard will give you a solid year once you break the seal at least.
All right. Let's hear it from mustard.
I'm a big fan. Ketchup, barbecue sauce. No, get rid of them. Just throw them out. You know what? Open your fridge today. Everything in your fridge, just throw it out.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. No? You don't think so?
I mean, I haven't got in my fridge in like a year. It got so bad in there. I've got that little fridge downstairs in the basement where I live anyway. That's the fridge I use. I don't know what's in the big fridge anymore. I'm just going to seal it off, and there could be a kid in there. I don't even know. Might have crawled in there. I don't know.
A kid from the 1950s. I've been telling you to update that damn refrigerator, man. This is
There's an old man now. Yeah, I don't know. It's with the condiments, it's the problem is when you talked about hoisin sauce and this stuff. You get a meal and you have to buy a whole big frickin' bottle of something and then you don't ever use it again because you don't ever make that meal. So I don't know.
I was really glad when our daughter decided she didn't want to be a chef. She didn't want to really figure out how to make it. We were trying to make making egg rolls and
that's hard.
Yeah, it was impossible.
I don't know how long to microwave them. Is it a minute? Is it 2 minutes?
Trust me, it's way more convoluted than you think. And then you get the fresh ones with the fresh wrap. It's like, those aren't egg rolls. Those are spring rolls or whatever the hell. And the kitchen just smells. It just smells like after a while, it just smelled like a sewer. I mean, we were doing something wrong.
Yeah.
All I know is if you get a whole bunch of the wrong ingredients and then you overheat them and it really goes sideways really fast. We made food. This is a true story. We made food that our old dog Zelda wouldn't even eat. It was like, let's see if she'll eat it. Nah, she's not interested. No.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've gone off well into the ditch.
It's bad.
It's very bad. I spent the grossest job I ever had. It was not cleaning out a grease trap at a restaurant, which was second. No, the worst job I ever had was cleaning out dormitory refrigerators at the end of a semester, at the end of a year in May.
Yeah.
It's like going into dorm room after dorm room after dorm room, an on-campus job where we had to scrub out and sanitize the dorm refrigerators that someone had just had 2 semesters. And at some point, probably on the first day, by no more than the second day, I just realized, boy, humans are the most disgusting species on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I was like, are you guys taking dumps in these things? What's happening? How is a little tiny refrigerator that can barely hold a 6-pack and a bag of pork chops, how is it this disgusting after just 2 semesters?
There's a website. Guess what this was at the beginning of the semester? And there's just pictures of food in these little dorm refrigerators, and you have to guess what they have. It's multiple choice if you want to check it out later today, but it'll test your gag reflex.
Profoundly disgusting. That's exactly what that is. Profoundly disgusting. We are in the month of February, ladies and gentlemen, and if you are looking for love, I got some great news for you. There's a company. They're actually based in Los Angeles, but travel is no concern for them. They are helping people find their soulmates. They've got the matchmaking site already exists. It's called 3-Day Rule. That's the name of the company. But now they have a special. What's that?
So that's my dating rule. 3 days.
3 days. That's all you got. All right.
Yeah. Well,
I guess they are figuring. You should know these things quickly. We'll help you make a snap decision. I don't know what 3-day rule refers to because they've got a special service, a side little hustle that they're calling $1 Million Matchmaking, and this is only open to 3 clients Over 100 people have already applied. And in case you're wondering how much it costs, it costs $1 million. But here's what they promise. They will find your soulmate. It's a 12-month program, okay? And they're going to do what they can to find the right person for you. We've got a little bit of one of the people from this company explaining exactly how they go about it and the kind of people they're looking for.
We have a huge client base in San Francisco and in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. Usually it's someone that hasn't really prioritized love and prioritized maybe career or other parts of their life ahead of love. Wherever your person is, we will be there finding them for you. We get them, we chat with them, and then we vet them through social media, through background checks, and potentially credit checks if you're interested in that as well. So a thorough background check.
Oh, credit check?
Yeah, that's right. For $1 million, they'll do all the stuff that your mom hopes that you would do on your own, but you never would think to, because what kind of douchebag would you be? I'm going to need a credit check. I'm feeling way too much chemistry here.
Oh, good. My hooker's here.
Sure. I mean, it's $1 million to find your mate, and then half your money when it doesn't work out. Why? They've got it to burn. Why not? This is why I like sugar daddies, because you're taking a poor person, a poor, innocent, beautiful young woman, and you're hooking her up with a guy worth millions. So you're taking a poor person and you're making them a millionaire. These people are already rich to start with. I'm not interested, and I don't qualify, by the way.
I like the idea that they're like, well, we've got a lot of people in Silicon Valley. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't quite come up with an algorithm that would help me find a soulmate, so I'll pay you $1 million.
They assign each client a dedicated recruiter who will fly across the country. They will visit social clubs, bars, even Equinox gyms in search of a match. Only Equinox? What, Planet Hollywood? I mean, Planet Fitness is not good enough for you? Matchmakers plan dates in minute detail. One of the guys said, listen, dating is a skill, and the simple truth is most people don't have it. Oh, please.
I'm rich.
That's fair.
You're not.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's another thing they do want to mention here. If you're interested in doing this, they'll find someone across country and they'll suggest you travel to meet these people. And then tip number one, look good on the plane. No sweatpants. Really dress up for that flight. That's all I needed to hear to realize that, if I ever find myself on the market again, this is not the company for me. I'm sorry. I travel in comfort. Call me a slob.
Yeah, it can be frustrating, I'm sure, for rich people to, have to mingle with us lowlifes, us unwashed, and they don't know. You don't know who your type is. Well, good luck to, what is it, the 3-day rule?
Yeah, this is just one of those things. By the way, if you are in a position where you can farm out what it is to be human for $1 million. I mean, The whole point is that it's kind of messy and kind of weird and kind of awkward, and you only feel that way when you're a courtin', as they say. But just removing just put on your VR glasses and just go date a 26-year-old Pamela Anderson, you bunch of losers.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, actually, now you're selling me on it. You're right. I mean, this would be the upside to being rich, to avoid all that crap that us poor people have to go through, like heartbreak and heartache and, cheating on each other. We're awful people. I mean, we like to think millionaires are the awful people, but we're all awful. It's just they can afford to, sidestep some of it, I guess.
We're all just millionaires in waiting. Anyway,
Yeah.
That's how we all look at it.
Yeah.
So I do think it's important to mention, if you are engaged less than 6 months after the program ends, they will throw in a 3-carat engagement ring. Not only do they tell you this is the person you're supposed to be in love with, they provide the ring. So this is removing all the good stuff from the entire situation.
Value added, yeah.
Man, that's great. I'm just so happy to know that there are enough people in the world that are this. It makes us, the three of us, we look like geniuses compared to these people. You know what I mean? We all got into relationships for free.
Did we?
Did we?
As Philly Wise once said, there's always a price to pay. Always a price to pay for a relationship. It's not always monetarily. Oh, that reminds. Yeah, why don't we have I guess because it's not a moneymaker. I want to get a homeless dating service together. Get some of those homeless people together,
Another big part of this is they do recruit dates. They're looking at airports because they say a lot of business travelers, quote, are just sitting there with tons of time to kill. So let me ask you about this. We've all traveled a good bit. Have you ever had that moment at either an airport or sitting next to a stranger where there was a real connection, like some movie? Because I've been on, I've spent a lot of time traveling, and that's never happened. One time I had a really pleasant, lengthy conversation with a woman on a plane, but it's just because what the hell else were we going to do? This is pre-TVs on flights. It's pre-all that stuff. And it turned out we got along fine. That was it. And then the plane landed, and I was like, okay, see you later. I mean, there was nothing there. I always hear about people like, well, we met at the airport. And I'm like, man, when I'm at the airport, the last thing I'm thinking about is, who can I strike up a conversation with?
Yeah. I've fallen in love every time I've been at the airport. I've never hooked up as a result of it. Never like we dashed out or it was down to the men's room or that. Now they have the unisex baby changing room. That's obviously made for banging.
Sure
they even put a little table in there for you, depending on how big you are at that time of the year. But I'm just saying, I fall in love because I know I'm never going to see them again. I've had 4 old fashions, and and I'm ready. I'm just like, You're amazing, and I fall in love every time I'm in an airport bar, and then I spend half the flight going, God, what am I doing in my life? That was her. I just walked away from her, and I'm flying back to her. God,
you've just given the secret recipe for the alchemy that is your heart. You're 4 old fashions away from being hopelessly in love with someone.
4.
That is great. That is great to know, man.
And 5, I barf on your shoes.
That's all it takes.
That's
Just
it.
5.
That's Lita Ford.
Gosh, man, we mentioned earlier some problems with people falling through ice. If you've got a story, if you've ever helped someone, or if you've been helped, we'd love to hear about it. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. And by the way, if you're just getting out and about, buckle up. Slow the hell down. Yeah. We got some stories for you. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I don't know if you've looked out the window yet. A little bit of snow overnight, a little bit still coming down in different parts of the metro area, if you will. North of the Twin Cities, we've got more still expected today. And so what that means, of course, is all the knuckleheads are out. One of the first text messages we got this morning. Maybe you could mention the dumbass driving down Highway 10 during 40 miles an hour with the flashers on in the center lane.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. Well, we did.
Yep.
We just
Easy
mentioned
does
it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that dumbass down Highway 10 doing 40 miles an hour in the center lane with the flashers on has gotten where they were trying to get. But plenty of our friends have not gotten where they were trying to get. It looks like a Jenga board that just fell apart out there on the map right now.
Yeah, just a big old clown show out there. And, it caught a lot of people by surprise. We're a couple of months into winter driving now, right? But it's got to be insanely slick out there this morning because we're down from 26 accidents. I said 26 accidents on the last report to just maybe about 10 now.
Oh, that's all.
Just 10. Okay.
Yeah, it's 10 or so. 394 eastbound between Penn and 94. Stop solid right now. Got an accident there near the exit ramp.
Bummer.
I had a good slide on the way in this morning. Fun fact. I was going 4 miles an hour, and I took a left turn, and there was no one anywhere near me as it was at a god-awful early morning. But I felt the wheels go a little bit, and I was like, hey, there it is. And then I got on with my day and kept going slow, unlike 26 of our fellow Minnesotans who decided to just drive like it was a normal day.
I've popped up on a sidewalk once or twice, and very thankful that I come to work when no one's on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because, oops, it'll get away from you, even with good tires on. So the deal is to leave yourself lots of space, and we just can't do that in rush hour, can we? Just got to creep up on that person a little bit.
I saw a story, a guy in Pennsylvania, 33-year-old dude driving without insurance and had himself a bit of a car accident. He immediately, on his cell phone, called Safe Auto Insurance and got himself a policy.
Is that legit?
He got himself a policy like before anything else had happened. He has a wreck, gets a policy. Didn't mention to them, of course, that he'd, already wrecked his car. He called again the next day and said, hey, I just got into an accident because the policy took effect. It took a little while for it to go into effect. And he filed a claim for $3,900. The problem with insurance companies is they have their own investigators and they look into things, and they were able to pretty much determine, no, dude, the accident happened first. He has been arrested for insurance fraud. Oops.
Yeah, I've got a friend that's an investigator, and also another friend here. She's an adjuster, and they've seen and they've heard it all. And
everything.
I mean, even if you dress up in a bear costume and try to destroy your vehicle, they've seen and heard it all. Yeah. So yeah, you're not. I mean, it was a decent try, I guess.
Probably my favorite story of 2024. Gentleman in California in a bear costume destroying the interior of his car and hoping to get away with that, and providing insurance adjusters with the video. Look, I got video on my Ring camera of me in a bear suit tearing apart my car.
Yeah.
These things happen, I guess.
Not to mention, I got to play a little bit of it now. I love the neighbor who thought it was a good idea, but you got to get rid of the bear suit.
Oh, my goodness.
This man lives next door to two of the suspects. He says police came early this morning to make arrests.
It was 7 o'clock. We opened the door. They told us to shut it. Really? So we were kind of peeking through. They had the ram thing or whatever, you know.
We showed him the videos of what investigators say is the fake bear car invasions.
That's amazing. I would have never thought of that. I mean, you know, that's pretty far out there. But, hey, you know, whatever works. But, I mean, if they found the bear suit.
Well, yeah.
Is by saying I would have never thought of that, is he, in fact, saying I always would have thought of that? Doesn't the double negative go in the other direction really hard?
We'd have to ask him, and I'm sure you wouldn't get an answer anyone would understand.
I feel like it should. I had a car for almost a year that I didn't update the tags, and I never insured it. And
really?
Yeah. Well,
Risky.
the car was given to me, so it just felt sort of weird to put money into it and insure it and cover it. It was a gift. It was free. I thought, you know what? I'll pay for gas. 10 months, 11 months after acquiring a free automobile, I did get pulled over for not having an updated tag, and it was determined I also did not have insurance. So I went in and I ended up paying about a $300 fine. This is 35 years ago.
Sure.
I paid about $300, which for 10 months of a car was a bar. I was like, hey, man, $30 a month. This has been great.
Yeah, right.
But my roommate worked. He had an actual job. He was like a CPA. And he came home with a document of an insurance policy that he had set up. It was completely false. And he was like, just sign here. It'll look like it's real. I bet the judge won't even notice. And he was completely, without me asking him if I could do this, asking me to commit insurance fraud. And I looked at it and I'm like, well, he has a tie on.
Yeah.
I should probably do this.
Yeah.
And I had that thing in my pocket as I was leaving to go to court. And I was like, hang on a minute. I'm either going to pay $300 or maybe I'll go to jail. I was like, at this stage of the game, I'm not willing to risk it. I decided to just pay the fine and move on with it. Now, the fact that the car had since stopped working made it a lot easier. I will admit, if the car still roared into life when I put the key in there and turned the ignition, I might have tried to scam a judge out of this. I don't think it would have worked.
No, that's why you're sitting here as an upstanding member of, society, rather,
I'd like to think I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back in the day, you used to be able to get away with a little bit of it. In other words, if there was $300 damage, I'll use your number, to your vehicle, the insurance company would cut you a check. I remember it happening right there in the old living room. I'm like, oh, you're going to get that hail damage on the truck fixed. Dad just laughed. He goes, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
No, but we got $300. But it was a push,
Damn straight. Hey, Bob Dylan's playing Mankato, the event center in Mankato, April 4th. Tickets sold out on Friday, the day they went on sale right away. Who says the power of Hollywood is gone and in the rear view? What are you kidding? Thank you, Timothy Chalamet. Bob Dylan is sold out, but we want to give away some tickets. We need you to call 651-989-ROCK for a shot to win some tickets. We're going to play ourselves a game. Zimmerman tickets on the table. We got a pretty fun game called Twofer. And it's fun because it gives Ryder a professional reason to go hang out in bars.
It does.
So Ryder goes into a local beer dispensary, as she calls them, a head shop for beer heads. She spends time with the people, asks 5 questions, and then we bring a contestant on the phone. The same 5 questions. If a contestant can match 2 of the 5 answers, They win the tickets. Does that make sense how I explained that?
This Saturday I went to Skinner's in St. Paul. You ever been?
Oh, my. Are you kidding me? I used to call bingo over there. Pete, the family. Oh, love them. I lived just some few blocks away. Love me Skinner's. Been a while.
Dude, I can't walk into any establishment in the entire 612-651 area without them saying, hey, does Zep tell you stories about hanging out at Skinner's?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was a professional at one point. Did you have the pizza?
I did not, no.
Oh, what now? You got to go back for the pizza.
I guess
Hell
so.
yeah.
I came in right at the end of meat raffle. So
Zep just gave you a full-on harumph when you said no. That was a professional grade harumph. All right, so we got some folks lined up ready to play. First, we got Paul from Oakdale. Paul, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Paul, give me your favorite band. Paul? Favorite band?
I was thinking about it.
Led Zeppelin.
All right, favorite team, any sport. Paul?
They are the Queens.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That'll work. All right, here it comes. We're going to ask your 5 questions, and then we'll get the 5 responses from a barfly. Number 1, Paul, name a drink that you enjoy poolside.
Margarita.
Margarita, very nice. Name a snack you would find at a Super Bowl party.
Wings.
Wings. Name a month that typically gets a lot of snow.
December.
Besides guitar, what is an instrument that requires electricity to play?
I'm not thinking it.
Come on now.
Clock's ticking.
3 seconds, Paul. Anything that requires electricity to play that's not a guitar.
I can't think of anything.
Wow. Our first blank. All right. And then finally, at what age should a kid get their first cell phone?
12.
12 it is. All right, Paul. Good luck, sir. Ryder, who's the barfly up first today?
Well, as soon as I walked into Skinner's and told him who I was and what I was doing, 3 wonderful women raised their hands and said, we know exactly who you are, and we totally want to play with you. So Barb was first up. Favorite band, AC/DC. She said she is a Chiefs fan. The entire bar booed as soon as she said it.
Well, she had it coming.
And here are her answers. Name a drink you enjoy poolside.
White Claw.
What's a snack you find at a Super Bowl party?
Nachos.
Name a month that typically gets a lot of snow.
March.
Besides a guitar, name an instrument that requires electricity to play.
Keyboard.
At what age should a kid get their first cell phone?
12.
Hey!
You got one.
All right,
Too
Paul.
little, too late.
1 for 5, almost, brother. Thank you for calling in. We're going to move on to contestant number 2. Right now, it looks like we have Tracy in Farmington. Good morning, Tracy.
Hello.
Tracy, good morning.
Morning.
Are you feeling good so far about the about your morning and the snow and such?
I'm feeling okay.
Good. It's time to see if we can win some tickets. Give me your favorite band, first things first.
Motley Crue.
Give me your favorite team, any sport.
It's got to be the Minnesota Wild.
That'll work. All right, here we go. 5 questions. Let's get your answers, and then we'll get a barfly second. Name a popular game show host.
Let's go with...
Come on, Tracy.
Game show.
Clock's ticking.
Gosh, I can't think of one.
I was going to say Steve Gorman.
Steve Harvey is what I was going to say.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
That counts.
That works, yeah.
Okay, sure. All right. Let's see what else. What's a place in the metro that can be difficult to find parking?
Probably, I'd say U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank.
Stadium.
Right. We assumed that'd be pretty funny. Name something that you bring ice fishing.
Ooh. Bait.
Bait. Finish the phrase. Cool as a blank.
Cucumber.
Very good. Finally, what's something people do in Vegas besides gamble?
Drink.
All right, Tracy, well played. Let's see how you do. Ryder, who's our barfly?
Sure, we chatted with Rose. Her favorite band, Southside Johnny. That was a deep cut that I didn't know. Favorite band or favorite team, Wild. So maybe there's a connection here. Here are Rose's answers. Name a popular game show host.
Pat Sajak.
Where's a place in the metro that can be difficult to find parking?
The Grand 7 Saloon.
Name something you bring ice fishing.
Beer.
Finish the phrase, cool as a...
Cucumber.
What's something people do in Vegas besides gamble?
Drink.
Yeah.
Man, there it is. Tracy, your best friend Rose just helped you win 2 Bob Dylan tickets. Mankato, April 4th. Very well done. Congrats, Tracy.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it. Just to pick a nit here, when we asked Rose what's something you bring, Tracy's answer to bring along ice fishing was bait, and Rose said beer, and with certain people, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
So she almost went
Sure
3
is.
for 5,
Oh,
is what I was thinking. Man, that was great. Man, we did have another caller on hold. Joe, sorry, buddy. Next time, I wish you better luck. But, man, Tracy and Rose teamed up to take the tickets. Very well played.
Nice.
Hey, the 2025 Tee It Up Golf Card number 2, presented by Club Champion, goes on sale today at 9 a.m. Golf 6 area courses and save $200. Text golf to 651-989-ROCK or go to 92kqrs.com. Why don't you? Top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Monday, February the 3rd. The month of February is upon us. Thank God. I'm excited for February. I'm excited for March. You know what? I'm already looking ahead. But before I look too far ahead, we do have to take care of the right here and now, and that would be your top 5 at 9 for a Monday morning if you're just joining us. When's the last time that a professional rope jumper didn't just make things better? You know what I mean? When I look around and I find myself in a situation where I'm a little unsure how to proceed, I think to myself, is there a professional rope jumper here? Can we find a professional rope jumper? A gentleman from Indiana, David Fisher, is just such a man. He's a world champion rope jumper, and he earned the term hero over the weekend. Saw a kid go over onto a frozen body of water chasing his dog. They both fell in, and listen to this man, David Fisher, explain that he knew exactly what and how to do what needed to be done.
I am a professional rope jumper.
Yeah.
The dog went onto the ice pond to chase the geese, and the dog is in the water. The boy went in to try and save his dog, and he's treading water in the middle of the ice pond, screaming. I just instinctively went right for my bag of jump ropes and pulled out the double Dutch ropes. I headed out on the ice pond, and as I start to go out there, I can hear the ice cracking underneath my feet. I sling the rope to him, and he grabs one handle, and bit by bit, we pulled him out of the ice pond.
Man, imagine being that poor kid. You fall through the ice, you're in the freezing water, you get rescued by this dude, and then you feel obligated to let him teach you how to jump rope.
Yeah, well, that's how you warm him up, you know. You get him going, and that's got to... how do they do that? I don't know. I've got about every 10 years, I'll buy a jump rope. I'll just be, cruising through whatever sports, whatever.
Fun fact.
Dick's Sporting Goods,
Hey, man, I got one since I've moved to Minnesota. It's been in the same place in my closet since the day I bought it.
Yeah, and then I'll be digging for something that I really need. Where the hell's the flashlight? But I'll find 5 jump ropes. Yeah. And I'll do it once. I'll do it one day. I'll be like, that's a really good workout. I got to do that more often. I keep one handy. By the way, I did a little Googling while David Fisher there. I love it because I got a buddy here in Minnesota, Dave Fisher. I had no idea, man, that you're a professional rope jumper. We sit here, we laugh, we scoff, we parody the man's. Last year, the United States, this is the Northeast top professional rope jumper, made $267,000.
Oh!
Yeah, so...
Well, okay, that changes things then all of a sudden.
Wrong profession.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't because I couldn't be a professional rope jumper, but they have competitions all over the place. So, All right.
I just instinctively went right for my bag of jump ropes. A quote I'll never forget. When there's a danger, when things go sideways here, we instinctively reach for our microphones. It's not the same thing. I just instinctively reached for my drumsticks when I recognized the child was in trouble. I mean, the dude is helpful at the grocery store. If you got something on the top shelf, he'll just whip that bad boy right down from you.
He has been waiting his entire life to look into a news camera and say,
I am a professional rope jumper. The dog went onto the ice pond to chase the geese, and the dog is in the water. The boy went in to try and save his dog.
All right, and then we know how it goes. A hero frickin' put a cape on that professional rope jumper.
Man, the calf strength of that guy. Those calf muscles just must be lit, man.
Crazy.
247. Number 4 on your top 5 and 6. How big do you like it? And by it, okay. Hold on, hang on. Let me clarify. How big do you like your TV, especially when you're going to have people over to watch the Super Bowl? We're looking at a survey here. If money wasn't an issue, what's the largest TV you would want? About 15% people said, I'd go 100 inches or even bigger.
Yeah.
As big as I can get it. About half the people say 65 is plenty. Even smaller works. That's where I sit with it. Okay. I probably would love to have a 100-inch TV to watch the Super Bowl on, but I cannot get past the point where I would just feel like an idiot. And I would feel like I had to explain it to everyone who came in. Well, I would lie. I'd flat out go, this is a sponsored deal. I didn't have to pay for this. I didn't get this house so that I could put a 100-inch TV up on the wall. I didn't move to find a wall big enough. No, I didn't do any of those things. That's why I wouldn't do it. The shame I would feel.
You'd have shame over having a large television?
Yeah, I would.
And then all the snacks, that would be, most of which will get thrown away, obviously. Now, I mean, that's what the Super Bowl party is. It's gluttony. This is where you show it off. If I showed up someone's house and they had a 50-inch TV for the Super Bowl, I would grab all the beer out of the refrigerator and leave.
Yeah,
and go home and watch a much bigger. Yeah. I mean, what are you doing? It's got a 65 is for the bathroom.
If you're going to invite me over to your house for the Super Bowl, 100 inches or bust. That's what it comes down to.
It's something big, man.
Come on, don't waste our time with this stuff, please. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. I don't know if you need 100 inches to fully enjoy watching porn at work. I'm assuming not, because so many of us do. According to a survey, 85% of women say they do, in fact, watch porn at work. Let me say that again. Women, 85% are watching porn at work. Way more than a number of men. They say it's about 60% of men admitted to having watched porn at work. Again, 85% of women. My theory is that women know that if someone sees them watching porn, they get the benefit of the doubt. At least, or at least it's like, did you just end up down a rabbit hole and you didn't know where it was leading? You just assume.
Some dude sent me a link and I just clicked on it.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Exactly.
Oh, God, that sounded convincing, Ryder.
It's like it's like we used to say, I got Rickrolled. And women are they're getting dickrolled. It's almost the same. You click on a link, you think it's going to be one thing, and before you know it, it's Rick Astley nude in a sauna with a guy from Helsinki. I don't know. Maybe that's something I just happened to click on accidentally the other day.
Nothing wrong with it at work.
I say to women, hey, way to be honest, way to come clean on this.
Yeah, because 40% of dudes are lying in this survey.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Now, this is not every day. 10% say 10% of women polled say they watch porn at work every day. Only 10%. And 4% does say I go back multiple times. And most people are looking for a woman with I'm going to stop that train of thought.
Women are cruising porn a lot at work. Who's doing the work? It's not the guys.
That's a very good point.
I mean, something's got to get done here. But
multitasking.
I've been saying it for years. Women are the new men.
It's an interesting time in any man's life when they realize, hopefully this happens before you're out of high school. A lot of times, sadly, it's older when you realize, women are way dirtier than we are. The first time you sit in a room of gals drinking and they're talking about things, you're just like, oh, holy night. I got to get out of here like I'm on fire.
Went to a happy hour over at the 7th Street with this very radio station, and some guys didn't show, and I ended up sitting there with 5 women and just ended up walking out of there going, don't you ever, any one of you, ever badmouth what I have to say on the radio, because you're filthy, disgusting, lovely, turn-on animals. By the way, 57% of women, according to the survey, have gotten it on with themselves while they watched porn at work. Just say, all right, just got to let that one sit out there. It doesn't require a punchline.
There's an awful lot of people right now thinking, I need a new job. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. In a poll of football fans who find themselves single, the question was, would you rather your team win the Lombardi Trophy or would you rather find true love? Minnesota Vikings fans overwhelmingly went for the trophy. I would much rather give me the trophy girlfriend and a real Lombardi over, this is not single members of the Minnesota Vikings. This is fan base. Single Minnesota Vikings fans much rather have a championship for the Vikings than real true love in their own lives. To which I say, yeah, sure, man. You can fake true love all day long. You can't fake that Super Bowl win.
Yeah, no. And guess what? You're not going to get either one.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough reality.
It's reality, right in the nuts.
Brian Zepp, honesty broker. Hey, listen, want to give a quick shout out to Lino Lakes. We're happy to have you guys with us this morning. Always a pleasure to throw it out to the lakes. You know what I'm saying? Number 1 on your top 5 at 9. If you had literally nothing else to do last night and found yourself watching the Grammys, then you already know this. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones, those are both English bands of note, won Grammys last night in 2025.
You don't say.
The Rolling Stones won Best Rock Album for Hackneyed Diamonds.
Okay.
Good one.
The Beatles won Best Rock Performance for their song Now and Then. We can discuss the fact that subsequent generations of rockers have really dropped the ball when the Beatles and Stones are still winning Grammys. As much as it warms my heart, I love both bands. I just sit there and go, oh, come on, seriously? This is what we got?
I mean, what's next? An R&B artist winning a Best Country album? Come on.
It just makes no sense at
Jump
all.
the shark. I turned it on. I thought I was watching the Super Bowl. They were showing Taylor Swift so often, I thought, oh, man, am I missing the Super Bowl?
Don't worry. We're going to get all the Tay-Tay we need on Sunday. There's your top 5 at 9.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.